In the next 30 seconds, one floating airfield will move more firepower across an ocean than most nations keep in their entire arsenal. Think about that for a second. One flight deck, 4.5 acres of steel, can turn a coastline into an allied port or a hostile shore into a no-go zone, all without ever asking for permission. One ship can do that, and right now there are 11 of them sailing under the same flag. So, what makes the modern aircraft carrier the most feared weapons platform ever built? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll understand why admirals sleep better, and why some presidents lose sleep whenever one of these giants parks off the horizon. From battleship to battlestar. Back in 1942, battleships still ruled the waves. These behemoths, bristling with massive guns, were the undisputed kings of naval power, their sheer firepower thought to be insurmountable. Then in just 4 minutes off Midway, everything changed. Carrier-launched dive bombers, nimble and deadly, swarmed the Japanese fleet, sinking 4 of their flat tops and flipping the balance of naval power forever. It was a brutal, undeniable lesson. World War II ended with more than 100 American carriers in service, a staggering testament to their newfound dominance, and every admiral on Earth was repeating the same hard-won lesson. If you don't control the air above the sea, you don't control the sea itself. Fast forward 80 years and that lesson still drives every major navy on the planet. Only now the stakes are higher, the jets faster, and the reach truly global, making these floating airfields more crucial than ever. A floating slice of territory. An aircraft carrier isn't just a ship. It's a moving piece of sovereign soil, a mobile extension of a nation's will. Wherever it sails, it brings a 100,000 square foot airbase, complete with radar towers that pierce the sky, bomb depots ready for action, full-service hospitals, gyms for the crew, and even its own daily newspaper. No permission slips needed from foreign governments, no runways to rent, no tenuous supply lines begging for safe passage. This incredible independence, this ability to operate anywhere, anytime, terrifies any rival who thought distance or diplomacy could keep them safe. Think about it. One carrier strike group, just one, can monitor 4 million cubic miles of ocean. That's roughly the size of the entire Mediterranean Sea combined with the Black Sea. It's an undeniable presence, a flexible instrument of power that projects influence and, if necessary, overwhelming force far from home. Catapults, arresting wires, and the emails leap. For 70 years, steam catapults were the workhorses, flinging jets into the sky with a violent hiss and a burst of steam. But the new electromagnetic aircraft launch system, or EMALS, is a different beast entirely. Instead of boiling seawater into pressure, it stores electricity like a giant camera flash, then dumps it in a 300-foot burst that hurls a 40-ton fighter from 0 to 165 miles per hour in a mere 2 seconds. What's the payoff for such a complex system? Plenty. You get less wear and tear on airframes, smoother acceleration for lightweight drones that wouldn't handle a steam launch, and the incredible ability to launch everything from heavy spy planes to massive fuel tankers without reconfiguring the ship. It's a quantum leap in efficiency and capability. China's newest carrier, the Fujian, already runs EMALS, a clear signal of its ambition, but America's Gerald R. Ford class perfected it first. Everyone else? They're still playing catch-up, desperately trying to integrate this game-changing technology. In fact, cutting-edge AI systems are even being integrated to optimize flight deck operations, boosting efficiency by about 20% and making these launches and landings even more seamless and precise. Air Wing Arsenal. A Nimitz-class carrier typically embarks roughly 60 combat aircraft on a normal day, but they can surge that to 90 for war, turning the deck into a beehive of lethal activity. Imagine this. A single F-35C, the epitome of modern air power, can carry 2 AMRAAM missiles, 2 Sidewinders, and 2 2,000-pound JDAM bombs while remaining virtually invisible to most radars. Now multiply that by 4 squadrons of these stealth giants, then add a formation of electronic warfare growlers, specifically designed to blind enemy sensors and disrupt their communications. Top it all off with radar Hawkeyes, constantly circling, watching 300 miles in every direction, acting as the eyes and ears of the fleet. The result? A mobile air force able to strike targets 700 nautical miles away, defend the fleet against any threat, and still land safely at a floating runway that's pitching in 10-foot seas. Honestly, no other platform in the world can match that menu of capabilities, that sheer concentrated power. Defense-in-depth carriers never ever sail alone. They are the heart of an entire ecosystem of naval power. Guarding their flanks are Aegis destroyers, each packing more than 90 missiles, ready to intercept anything from enemy aircraft to ballistic missiles. Alongside them, cruisers with advanced anti-ballistic radar stand sentinel, while frigates tirelessly hunt for lurking submarines. And beneath the waves, a Virginia-class nuclear submarine silently listens to every heartbeat in the ocean, a stealthy guardian anticipating any underwater threat. Layered above them sits the Combat Air Patrol, fighters orbiting at 30,000 feet, always ready to pounce. Inside the hull itself, rolling steel shutters seal compartments in an instant. Automated sprinklers douse fires before they can spread, and every single sailor trains relentlessly for battle stations. It's not just one warship the world fears. It's an entire fortress, a self-contained, multi-layered defensive and offensive system that happens to move at 30 knots. The human machine. 5,000 sailors crew a U.S. carrier, a city at sea, powered by human grit and relentless discipline. They steam 10 months a year, often away from family and home, and launch aircraft every 45 seconds in daylight, a feat of precision choreography. They even recycle 400,000 gallons of their own wastewater, so nothing, absolutely nothing, interrupts flight ops. Their postal clerks sort 70,000 pounds of mail a month, keeping spirits up. Their chefs bake 10,000 loaves of bread a week, feeding an army. And their flight deck crew, the ghosts of the night, walk within inches of jet intakes, wearing color-coded jerseys that let strangers coordinate like a ballet troupe, all amidst the roar of engines and the smell of diesel fumes. Watching them work makes you rethink what discipline truly looks like, what dedication means when the stakes are this high. It's a testament to the incredible human capital that makes these technological marvels function, the China factor. America's lead in carrier technology, while still formidable, is undeniably shrinking. China's Type 003 Fujian, their newest carrier, displaces a massive 80,000 tons, runs emails, and is designed to carry next-generation J-35 stealth fighters. Satellite photos have already shown drone prototypes on her deck, hinting at a future where unmanned systems play a critical role in carrier air wings. Beijing claims 90% indigenous construction for the Fujian, a number that matters immensely because it means spare parts, critical upgrades, and entirely new hulls can roll off their production lines without asking foreign suppliers for permission or components. This level of technological self-reliance is a strategic declaration. If tensions spike over Taiwan or the contested South China Sea, the side that fixes broken catapults fastest, or can quickly replace a damaged airframe, wins the air war. That stark reality keeps U.S. Navy planners up at night, and keeps American yards cutting steel for even newer, more advanced carriers, ensuring they stay ahead in this critical maritime race. The humanitarian secret. Carriers certainly scare adversaries, but they also save countless lives. They possess a dual role often overlooked. After the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, for instance, the USS Abraham Lincoln steamed off Indonesia and produced an astounding 100,000 gallons of fresh water a day for survivors, a lifeline in a desperate situation. When Haiti's earthquake hit in 2010, the USS Carl Vinson's helicopters flew 2,300 mercy missions in a single week, delivering aid and evacuating the injured. Disaster zones typically lack working runways. Carriers bring their own, a stable, self-sufficient platform for relief operations. That dual role, angel or avenger, makes them diplomatic chess pieces as much as weapons platforms. Countries remember who parked a hospital off their coast when the ground stopped shaking, and that soft power can be just as impactful as their hard power. Call to action. If learning how a floating runway changes world politics fires you up, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the submarines that lurk beneath these giants. Drop a comment below. Which carrier story still blows your mind? We love hearing your thoughts. Price tag and politics. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the newest class of supercarrier, ran about $13 billion before her first cruise. Let that sink in for a moment. That's more than the entire annual defense budget of Poland. Congress debates every weld, taxpayers fund every screw, and yet no president sails without at least one carrier nearby. Why? Because these aren't just expensive toys. They're indispensable tools of statecraft. In 1979, When Iranian students stormed the embassy in Tehran, it was the USS Nimitz that launched rescue helicopters, a clear signal of American resolve. In 1996, when China lobbed missiles toward Taiwan, 2 U.S. carriers slid into the strait, and the missile tests stopped almost immediately. The cost is staggering, yes, but the alternative, losing influence in a choke point sea lane, failing to protect allies, or being unable to respond to a crisis, costs even more, both in terms of national security and global stability. The future deck. So, what's next for these leviathans? Imagine unmanned tankers that refuel fighters mid-mission, extending their range and endurance without risking human pilots. Picture loyal wingman drones that jam radars and scout ahead of manned jets, providing invaluable support and protection. Envision AI tools that compress a 3-hour maintenance check into 15 minutes, dramatically increasing sortie rates. Hypersonic weapons will ride cargo aircraft, launch in midair, and strike 1,000 miles away before defenders can even finish a coffee. The carrier of 2040 will look familiar on the outside. 4 acres of steel still float. After all, but inside, fiber optics, advanced robotics, and quantum sensors will make today's ships feel like steamships. The mission, though, stays the same. Own the air, dominate the sea, and deter the war before it even begins. It's an evolving platform, but its core purpose remains unchanged. Conclusion. An aircraft carrier isn't just the tip of the spear. It is the American, Chinese, or Indian way of saying, we can park a piece of our homeland 200 miles off your beaches, and from it, we can reach any target within a 700-mile circle. That single, undeniable fact shapes diplomacy, economics, and military strategy on every continent. The world is terrified of this warship because it erases distance, multiplies options for projection, and fundamentally rewrites the rules of sovereignty at sea. And as long as oceans cover 70% of the planet, whoever floats the deadliest airfield ultimately wins the last argument.